to the country blue, Woody and Lou got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lou, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody Lou, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtics screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody Lou right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney. All right, Braxton, we're live. Episode 8. Happy Sunday night. How have you been?
I've been great, man. Happy Sunday night. Welcome into episode 8, Woody Lou, Sports and You. It's wild that we have had so much consistency and been able to record on a not the same day every time, but a pretty consistent basis these last 2 weeks.
This is, we set a personal best, third consecutive week recording. I think it's the start of the next Ironman streak. Cal Ripkenesque for Woody Lou, Sports and You. It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty large you're putting us in rare air right there, going ahead and putting the Ripken comparison.
What I'm most happy about, though, is I think we figured out the technical difficulties that we experienced with the new show format. So, promises made, promises kept, going live at 8:30 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty close, just PTI level right now, production. PTI started somewhere, and the thing about PTI is that they never really changed for how many, 30 years or so that they were on air. And they were pretty successful. So if we can maintain this and we get those views up, this is probably what you see 30 years from now, and we're still
going strong. And they had Stat Boy, Tony Reale. It'd be nice if we had someone like that. I know we'll get to producer Colin later on, more on him later.
More on Colin later. It would be nice to have someone like that because it goes down to small things, right? I've taken over trying to push socials in Colin's absences. More on him later, but I was on CapCut. I downloaded CapCut trying to make some content for the socials for Instagram, where you pretty much, it's an app where you can get on your phone, your computer, and you can slice up some of our video, put some words on it. It's what all the TikTokers do these days. And Dan, I downloaded it on my phone first. I played around with it. It defeated me. I re-engaged on the computer. I was able to make you
were able to download it on your Apple, your MacBook from 2014. I'm impressed that the software was still supported on probably like the Snow Leopard operating system.
I take really good care of my electronics. But yeah, I downloaded it on the Mac, and I was able to make a legitimate 10-second video that was like cut, had like cool graphics going over it. And every time I went to export it, it would say you're exporting a 28-minute long video. And I fooled with that thing for way too long, and I ended up saying some choice words I can't repeat here. And I literally, when I just got back on my computer, all the stuff was still pulled up, and I had a rage moment trying to exit out of it. So I'm gonna continue to try at that,
yes.
Kaylee being gone this week, I might have a little more time on my hands. But once we get that rolling, we're going to be dangerous. You're going to start seeing us on your For You page on Instagram Reels. So that's going to be pretty neat.
It's exciting for Woody Lou Sports and you, bringing you the best content we can.
It's not from a lack of effort, I can tell you that. We're blue collar guys on the ball field. We got a bunch of spark plugs on the team over here. We're just trying to make something happen with nothing. And that's usually how you end up having success at some point, however you want to measure that. Speaking of success, Dan, all of the 1 seeds in the tournament were able to successfully make it to the Final Four.
Yeah, it was pretty chalky. Sweet 16 and Elite 8. I was re-listening to last week's episode, and we went through each of the picks for the Sweet 16, and I was not good. My picks were not good at all. However, I did pick Auburn. Wardam, they're still in it. But none of my other Final Four teams that I predicted are there. The Maryland, Florida, that was bad. That was a bad take by me. And you were on it right away. You jumped on me.
Well, yeah, and I'm pretty sure right after Maryland's game, their head coach, who's now gone to Villanova.
Oh, it's right before the game. It was
He literally he got in his press conference like, I don't know what I'm doing. So that didn't instill much confidence. But yeah, ran chalk. And then speaking of Auburn, I'm pretty sure they've played all 3 other teams in the Final Four this season, with Florida, Duke, and Houston. They lost to Duke by around 9 points, I believe, at Auburn. Lost to Duke, beat Houston. So they're 1-2 against the other teams in the Final Four.
Yeah, the Elite 8 game, the Duke, Alabama, I think that was the most shocking result of the games of that round. You still not worried about Cooper Flagg?
Not worried about Cooper Flagg. He's due to – now, I do think Duke will be in the national championship. I see them beating Houston. But still not worried about Cooper Flagg. He's going to find himself against a more deserving SEC team in the national championship, whether it be Florida or Auburn, and he will find a way to mess it up. And, I think he's a good kid from all accounts. He's from a small town in Maine. His mom has a really committed family. But people are starting to say that he's the best one and done ever. And I kind of just think that's a little recency bias.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see him complete won the national championship, and then that just add to that narrative. I think, not saying he's not great, but maybe be a little unjust.
Yeah. And you've said it most weeks. You can't be ignored. The ACC is just down bad this past season, and that's the primary competition that he played against, week in and week out. And yeah, they're having a great run right now in the NCAA tournament. John Shire's got that team firing on all cylinders. But who is your best one and done?
I think that's clearly Anthony Davis. I'm going to pick a Kentucky guy. Career-wise, probably in the NBA, it probably would be Anthony Davis. But, so it's what do you measure the success off of? One and done is just their college career. So Anthony Davis was able to come and then win a national championship. Yeah. So he's the obvious one that comes to mind. Zion Williamson could have been in that conversation, but they lost in the Sweet 16 or round of 32 to Purdue, I believe, that season.
I think it was Sweet 16. And you should be looking just at
college
result, like that 1 year, but I don't think you can ignore – it's hard to ignore what Zion has done in the NBA.
He's eaten a lot.
Yeah.
He has a significant amount of money to support his nutrition, so that's good for him. And I know that's tattoos.
He's had a lot of beignets in New Orleans.
Tattoos and beignets for Zion, and he's familiar. We should have him as producer because he's pretty familiar around Instagram DMs and find his way into very fruitful conversations. So we need a guy like that on our team.
We need social guys. Zion, we're hiring.
More on Colin later, but
I hear Kaylee makes some great food, so we can might not be able to pay you, but keep that belly full.
Speaking of Kaylee, she had every team in the Elite 8.
Really?
She had picked every team in the Elite, as it was. She had every team in the Sweet 16, which is probably even more impressive. She had every team in the Sweet 16. Impressive. The only ones that she missed on was Kentucky, Tennessee. She had Kentucky beating Tennessee. And then in the Elite Eight, I'm pretty sure she had Houston losing. So it got messed up, but she had a really good bracket run this year. She completely smoked me.
And we got some chat commentary. We got some viewers in the chat. This one from Mr. Chris Lewis. He is weighing in on the best one and done, and he is saying Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I probably butchered saying that. SGA may end up being best pro from Cal's UK era. Any thoughts on that there, Braxton?
The best pro. He's a really good pro. Him or Karl Anthony Towns, maybe.
Better than Anthony Davis?
Between SGA and I'm talking about comparing to SGA.
Yeah.
I'd put him more like the Karl Towns. But that's like off college performance. The thing about SGA that made him a really good college player, or I guess the transition to pro, is he was like a 4-star. He wasn't supposed to be a starter that season. Quaddy Green was supposed to be a starter. He ended up taking that position, parlaying that to a first-round lottery pick, and then SGA is now a super popular guy in the NBA.
He's going to be the MVP, I think. That's my MVP pick.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. But just college-wise, I'd have to give the nod to Anthony Davis.
Where's John Wall fit in there? I know he was a huge recruit and pickup and great player at Kentucky.
They don't lose in the Elite Eight to West Virginia, and maybe he's there. But as far as performance-wise, yeah. Then because on that team, he also had Eric Bledsoe. That team was just stacked. Him, Eric Bledsoe, DeMarcus Cousins, Daniel Orton. They had
was stacked, and that was one of his first teams, right, Cal?
That was his very first team.
Very first team.
Daniel Orton averaged like 12 minutes a game and was picked in the first round. He didn't do anything in the NBA, but that team was obnoxiously stacked, and that's coming on the heels of Derrick Rose and pretty much overshadowing all that happened in Memphis with John Wall.
And you mentioned Derrick Rose. That's where my pick was going to be. Even though the record books, there is no record of Derrick Rose or that Memphis team, so we don't really know how he actually did.
I think he had a better ACT score than you, though, Dan.
Some have said that.
Yeah, he performed really well.
But I think he's my best one and done, and unfortunately went down with that knee injury right after winning the youngest MVP winner in the NBA. So it's sad to see that he wasn't able to have the pro career that he wanted and the fans wanted.
No, but I think he was good for Chicago, and he came back, and then he ended up hanging it up at Chicago, made his way back there. So that was good to see.
Yeah.
Really good career.
He had a nice little spurt later on in his career. I know up in Minnesota a little bit, in New York, and then in Chicago.
But yeah, man, I mean, I'd love to sit here and talk hoops, but with Kentucky losing and we got a straight chalk Final Four, we can go ahead and pick the games. There's going to be an SEC team in the national championship between Florida and Auburn. I honestly, at this point, think that's a pick 'em.
2.5 Florida is favored.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think give me Gators. I'll ride with Florida on that one.
I'm wearing, again, this is not a good look for yours truly, definitely a heel turn. I'm rocking my War Damn hat, but I also have to go Gators as a betting man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Florida Duke. I'll take Florida winning it all. They'll end up, Cooper Flagg will end up losing the game late, 82-79 Gators national championship.
So what was your final score?
82-79.
82. Okay, so 3-pointer. I'm also going to go with Florida Duke. I'm going to go Duke. I'm going to go my man from Maine, Con Knipple. I don't know if that's the right how you say it.
Is Con Knipple from Maine as well?
No, he's not. He's from Wisconsin. I actually looked him up. He has a very interesting family background. He's got an uncle who played in the NBA. His dad was a star at some D1 school in Wisconsin, but they quite a basketball lineage. He was Mr. Basketball, Wisconsin, also a freshman. That's a tough 1-2 to stop. And I mean, Alabama couldn't do it, and he had a great game. So I'm gonna go Duke. As much as it pains me to say that, I can't stand Duke.
Con Knipple looks like a Larry Bird love child.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
His hair is stuck in a bad era.
He needs that dirty college stash that Larry Bird had at Southern Indiana.
He doesn't miss.
Or Indiana State. Indiana State. Yeah, Indiana State.
I would just hate what would just frustrate me, honestly, is Duke winning a national championship is going to get them one closer to Kentucky. John Shire is going to have all the momentum. And like I said, it wouldn't take away from the success of the SEC this season, but Duke and the ACC would be able to say, oh, even with your all-time setting teams in the tournament, Duke still reigns supreme. That'd just be really upsetting. I'd rather see an SEC team win it, so we just stay on brand with the SEC. Really ran the whole season from start to finish.
I do like you, and you have said this, and pounded the floor with the SEC and the gauntlet that it was, and it absolutely was an absolute gauntlet for these teams. So Auburn, Florida, very deserving of being in here, and I think it's tough to pick against an SEC team in the championship, but I'm doing it. And more in the chat, we got Kaylee did confirm she picked every team in the Elite Eight. She just had Alabama beating Duke and then Michigan State over Auburn.
I'm surprised Tom Izzo got as far as he did. I think that was a really good coaching job by him.
Absolutely.
Same with Kelvin Sampson. Like Houston and Michigan State both year after year are consistently competitive with a bunch of guys that you've never heard of. Like I don't think legitimately I could name you one guy on either roster, but they're always consistently in the conversation and making deep tournament runs for the most part.
So to tie a bow on our final four picks, you had 82-79, Florida over Duke. I got to pick a final score. I'm going to go a little low. I think it's going to be 75-74 Duke, and Con Knipple will be your most outstanding player.
11-point win?
No, what did I said 75-74 Duke.
Oh, I thought you said 85-74. Excuse me. Well, Con Knipple. What a guy.
Most outstanding player.
Well, like I said, whenever Kentucky would lose, it would be baseball season for me. So let's move on to baseball.
Opening weekend.
I love the fact that I'm sitting here doing the show, and in front of me I have Sunday Night Baseball on.
Yes.
It'd be a lot more enjoyable if it wasn't Sunday Night Baseball, highlighting the Braves about to go on a 4-game skid to start the season. They're about to take the brooms out in San Diego if we don't turn things around here quickly. And we got to be on Fox last night, ESPN tonight. 2-0 game going into the top of the 7th. So the Braves are not off to a hot start, hitting 1 for 22, I believe, runners in scoring position going into tonight's game.
You're not going to win games with that average with runners in scoring position.
But that average is actually better than Rafael Devers' average through 4 games.
He was a concern. Just unfortunately, with the firing of Chaim Bloom and like the promises that were made under that regime to Rafi Devers with that large contract extension, and he was defiant. I play third base. Some are questioning whether he's a team guy, and not many at bats in the spring. Didn't go with the team to Mexico, and was kind of told not to worry. But he did have to worry because he is no longer the everyday starting third baseman. And he's lost. He is absolutely lost at the plate. His mechanics are off. He's late on. There was one strikeout that was just so bad. It was might have been like an 88 mile per hour slider, or I'm not quite sure. It wasn't a good slider, and he was so late.
I believe he went 0 for 4, 2 more strikeouts. There's pictures circulating him on social media of just sitting in the dugout all by himself, facing his hands and just kind of going through it. Which, if you've ever played baseball at any level, you know how lonely that can be when you just walk up there and don't know. It's like me on the tee box playing golf. Like you just don't know what to do.
Yeah, and there's Boston sports media. They have long memories of Red Sox, of days past, and there are some unfortunate comparisons being made to another big time free agent signing, one Pablo Sandoval, and when he was the DH for the Red Sox, and they're worried about Devers' discipline focus on his craft and also not go the way of Zion Williamson. So that's a concern right now for Red Sox Nation.
Jim Panda was great for the Braves. His little stint he had with us.
He went back to San Francisco after he got cut from the Red Sox, and he was fine. I'll just never forget. You like. I wish we could post it. We we probably get a DCMCA'd. But the video of his belt popping up in Toronto.
Copyrighted for normal people.
Not a legal podcast. But you know that video when his belt popped off after he struck out.
Been there, dude. Everyone's had a little too much, dude. No, the Braves they're literally about to go 0-4 through the first 4 games, get swept in San Diego as we've already accrued 2 outs in the top of the 7th as we've been talking. That's going to be 3 outs as I speak. It's beautiful though, just watching the game, just seeing the dirt, seeing
listening
the grass.
to it too. Like I was listening on the app on my drive, and we'll get to my Nashville trip. But like baseball, I love listening to baseball.
So, yeah, we I guess it was game 2. It was the night of Tennessee and Kentucky. I ended up turning the game off with about 10 minutes to go in the second half because my sanity couldn't take it. And Kaylee was doing some work in the living room. I didn't feel like watching the game, so I turned on 680 The Fan, listened to Ben Ingram and those guys, and I was playing MLB The Show. Update from the last podcast. I didn't end up spending the $74. So I was playing MLB The Show, and I had the game on. And Kaylee's sitting there, and those guys on 680 do an awesome job. And they're talking about the color of the fabric, the thickness of the beard.
Yeah.
Like just like painting. And Kaylee's just standing there. She's like, I feel like I'm there right now. And she's like, I've never heard like a play-by-play. And it's a lost art. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think the best place, if you ever want to hear like good radio, it's a baseball game.
Yes.
Or like some of your local colleges. Like they usually have really good guys too. But baseball, it's still like it's still an art in baseball. They kind of lost it in football and basketball, but baseball, local baseball still has it. Kaylee could tell you what the twin brother of the relief pitcher does for a living, like just that level of detail and just making you feel like you're on the third base line drinking a beer and eating a hot dog at the ball. It's so pure and it's so simple, and it's something that I hope never goes away.
It should. It's the best.
Yeah, it truly is. But yeah, we listened to that game. So it was a bad day for me that day because Kentucky, Tennessee, and then
that was not a good game for the Cats.
We couldn't make a shot, Dan. Within 2 feet.
It was bad. It was bad.
And then Tennessee goes out and hangs 15 in the first half today. They dropped like 40 something on us in the first half. They went and dropped 15 today against Houston. It's like better defensive team, but
hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah, it is, ain't it? But yeah, baseball's awesome, man. Some other scores from the league. I know the St. Louis Cardinals. I have a little skin in that game, just knowing Donnie, but they've started out 3-0 against the Twins. I'm not saying the Twins are great. We've had some splits. Cubs, D-backs, Rays, Rockies have been good. The other team that I feel bad going 0-3, and it's because I think maybe I've been into the gold tops recently. The Milwaukee Brewers going.
The Yanks, man, are off to a fast and furious start.
It's really frustrating.
Judge already has 4 home runs, maybe more.
He had 3 home run day today. Now, do we think their 3-0 starts attributed to their illegal bat that they're using?
I'm not familiar with this storyline. Please inform me.
So the Yankees have hired a guy.
Okay.
I don't have his name. They've hired a guy he's an MIT grad. And he has reconstructed their bats, and it's called the torpedo bat. Essentially, from what I've seen, and you got to find a picture of it. It's nuts. They've reconfigured the weight and like mass balance of the bat to adding more, I don't know, core strength to the part of the bat where there's more misses.
That looks like
it's an extended sweet spot. It looks like
a stickball bat. What is going on here?
It's a corked illegal wood bat that the Yankees are rolling out.
So it's not illegal.
I guess not. I feel like it's kind of. I thought baseball was always kind of like golf in the sense of like there was certain parameters with the weight and length distribution that it had to reach.
Oh, it is
to a
kind of
certain
cool
degree.
looking, man. Yeah, the Yankees have literally hired a genius, MIT physicist, Lenny.
Name's Lenny, of course it is.
It's Lenny, no last name. It brings more wood and mass to where you most often make contact as a hitter. The idea is to increase the number of barrels and decrease misses.
So the real question is, as teams like study the analytics of the offensive stats by the Yankees, like how long until every team in baseball has this bat?
Well, that's what's interesting. Like, is this like, does he have like a patent on this thing and like only the Yankees?
Could he patent it? Could he patent it and then only distribute it to the Yankees? I feel like Major League
No,
Baseball
I feel like
Association
the
would have a vote on it.
commissioner would nix that. Like, it would have to be widely available to every MLB team. He could absolutely patent it and make a fucking mint.
Make a lot of money off that.
It's pretty cool. They like just straight up hired him. It's like when the Red Sox, like, you know, Bill James and like Sabermetrics, and they were like, we're just gonna hire this guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I had high hopes for the Brewers.
Not when they're going up against a torpedo bat.
No, I know. It's absolutely nuts. And then you also start to feel bad because the team that I kind of attribute like what success is to the Braves, and it shouldn't be one, but it makes me feel good, is the Oakland Athletics. I don't guess they're the Oakland Athletics. They're like the Sacramento Athletics right now as they transition to Las Vegas Athletics. They're even 500 against the Mariners. So a lot of parity across the league right now outside of, I would say, most people's like top 3 NL East pick, the Atlanta Braves. So it's really just been a real bummer for me.
Yeah, and the Red Sox, 1-3 for the 4-game opening set against the Rangers. One on opening day. That was an exciting 9th inning home run from Willie Abreu to put them ahead 5-2, 3-run shot. I'm not really discouraged though with the 1-3 start. The last 2 games have been 1-run games on the road. Rangers just 2 years removed from their World Series championship. So I mean, they're a pick to come out of the West. So no, I'm not discouraged. Hopefully, Raffy Devers, he's a professional athlete. He'll turn it around.
You know who my favorite player in the Red Sox? I'm trying to be a Red Sox guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's only 1 for 16 with 7 strikeouts, just a notch below Devers. But Tristan Casas or Cass?
Yeah, he's kind of a controversial figure.
I kind of like that guy.
Yeah, no, he's funny. He's good media personality. Like he wasn't on the All-Star team, but he went to All-Star weekend last year and was like mic'd up, like talking to people. No, he's a charismatic guy. He had a weird rib injury last year. He also got into a little bit of trouble. He was, again, we talked about this, I want to say like episode 1 or 2 of Woody Lou's Sports and You, the live mic during live play. And he had some wild story about like his dad, like literally like kicking him like onto a field, like when he didn't want to play when he was like 8 years old. So basically just like made an allegation of child abuse. That was,
is that child abuse though?
Yes, it is.
I think it's a big gray area with like dads and sons in like Little League Baseball.
There's corporal punishment, which is, you know, not illegal. Again, we're not a legal podcast, but I would say like, yeah, a grown man kicking their like 7-year-old son like in the air. Yes, Braxton, that is child abuse.
There's 2 things my dad did to me growing up in baseball that have stuck with me.
We do have Chris Lewis in the chat, so I'm ready for the fact checking here.
Well, yeah, he'll be able to review. No, I'm gonna give you 3 real quick. Three things that my dad did to me in baseball. You tell me.
You got a good grin on your face right now.
You tell me fair or foul. I'm gonna go in age order too.
Okay.
So it was third grade. We had a doubleheader. So whatever age you are in 3rd grade, and that was like peak.
You're like
when I was
10.
Yeah.
And
that was like peak me into WWE. Like I'm peak. And
what era is this of WWE?
So this is like 0405.
Okay.
And now in his defense, I'll set the scene for this one. I had just had a sleepover with my buddy, and we were cutting a promo in between commercials on Friday Night SmackDown, and I smacked him in the ear, and he had to go home. So, like a week removed from my dad having to walk this kid back to his house.
You just did like one of these.
Well, we were cutting a promo, and I went for an air smack, and I caught him. I caught him clean in the ear. But anyway, so like a week later, we had a doubleheader on a Saturday, and I went 0 for both games.
Golden sombreros?
Yeah, I didn't touch a ball. And after the game, he took Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown from me for the rest of the summer. He said I should be more worried about baseball. That stuck with me.
I like that.
The next thing he did, and
this is fair.
This is probably 5th grade. We lost a game. I was playing first base. I took my glove off and threw it towards the dugout.
Whose dugout?
And it was our dugout. We had the first base dugout, but I threw it in anger before the handshake line. I ran a pretty significant amount of poles after the game. That stuck with me. So I've never thrown a glove since then or thought about it. But I'd probably say that's fair. Now, this is the one that I don't think is fair because this is the age thing, right? 16 years old, and we were it was a travel ball team, and we had a inter squad.
Okay.
And
so this isn't even a real game. This is a scrimmage.
It was my teammates. And he was working third. He was the third base coach during the inter squad. And the two guys, the pitcher and the catcher, were both they just won state championship for 2A in Alabama. The catcher is talking smack to me. The pitcher's talking smack to me.
Inter squad game.
In an inter squad game. These are new guys. They didn't like me because I went to like the 7A big school and they had just won state in the 2A school. Blah blah blah. And he had like thrown 2 by me, and I was late on him. And the catcher was just like chirping me. And I pimped one off of him the next pitch. And as I watched it, I looked at the catcher, said some choice words.
Oh.
Tossed my bat like past him. And I said, "You can watch that too," or something to that effect.
Oh.
Winked at the pitcher, and I slowly went around the bags. And as I was rounding third, my dad said, "Put on your catcher's gear." So I thought I was going to go catch for the next half inning. No, I got in full catcher gear and ran poles until the game was over.
I think that's also fair.
This is like July.
Chris Lewis. So before we even got going on this, we got some action in the chat. This is awesome. He's like, absolutely not. I think these are all fair. This is good parenting, good coaching for a braggadocious son, Braxton. I love it. We got some more chatter. We got Gavin saying good evening, everyone, and someone new in the chat, Margaret Ann Hooker, loving your hat, Braxton, girl dad.
Thank you, Margaret Ann Hooker. I really appreciate that. Nice to have you in the chat, May. So I appreciate that. Shout out Gavin as well.
Those are awesome.
No, yeah.
I love those. Are awesome. Those are.
Yeah. You know, like I have daughters, obviously, as the hat says, but I think with a son and dad, like especially in the sports arena, just like the left and right limits of what's child abuse and what's like good parenting can get like befuddled a little bit.
Well, the way that Tristan Cassis, like he literally said his dad like kicked him in the butt and he was airborne.
Well, maybe he should have been stronger then. That's really a testament that he hasn't been training hard enough if he's going that far off a kick. And his dad's not Shawn Michaels with Sweet Chin Music, in the rear. So. Oh,
I love this. This is classic. This is great coaching and parenting right now from Chris Lewis. Got to act like you've been there before. Builds character. I couldn't agree more.
Well, speaking of being there before, my dad was in a position today, speaking of him, that he hasn't been in before, where he threw out the first pitch at the Citadel's baseball game today.
Oh, that's awesome. Speaking of first, so we'll get to that, but a first pitch, another famous first pitch this week. You see Ichiro's first pitch?
I did not, but I saw his outfit he wore, and hopefully the first pitch was better than the outfit he wore to the game.
He hummed it at 84 for a strike.
That dude's timeless.
Now, what was Chris Lewis on the gun?
So this is this is his words. He said the gun wasn't on yet, but he wouldn't put it a mile per hour over 54.
That's pretty good.
I got the live video, and so he was at the house yesterday, and he was talking about he throws a really good knuckleball. Like every time we played catch, like growing up, he'd always just throw knuckleballs. And he was flirting with throwing a knuckleball. But my mom sent a video of him doing it, and his arm slot looked like a knuckleball, and it was a little high and outside.
What was it coming in? Like 3/4?
He came in a little 3/4, and I thought it was a knuckleball. And then when I talked to him on the phone, he said it wasn't a knuckleball. And I was like, why'd you mess your arm slot? Arm slot that's not the arm slot that usually, I think he tried to get cute. I think he tried to get a little too cute. But he didn't skip it. He threw it.
From the rubber?
In front of we had that discussion.
Oh,
so
cool.
he asked if he should go from the rubber. I said, you need to be kind of where the mound, declines into like the grass. I think that's the appropriate distance for a first pitch. Maybe you disagree. I didn't want him to go from the stretch and do like a slide.
No,
step.
I think your standard like ceremonial first pitch. I think that's very appropriate where you're saying it is.
Fair or foul for a first pitch wearing a glove?
Fair.
Really?
Yeah.
Like from your own house glove, or do you like ask one of the guys? Like,
well, now I'm like actually like thinking about. I guess
how many guys have you seen throw with the glove on?
Pretty sure Ichiro had one on. Did George W. Bush have one on? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did, and that is obviously the best first pitch of all time.
He was wearing body armor too, from the rubber. Strike.
I mean, he was right down. It looked like he came in at like 75 too. I mean, that was an awesome first pitch. But no, Dad did good. I was proud of him. I think if I had to do that, because there was times when I was playing catcher, I couldn't throw back to the pitcher because there was 20 people in the stand. So I probably would have absolutely shuddered in the fact of a D1 first pitch. It probably would have had me.
That's so awesome he did that. He's saying in the chat it was the second best first pitch, only behind George W's at Yankee Stadium.
I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Baseball just how can you not be romantic about baseball in every degree? It's just like the highlight of everything in post 9/11, like the way that people came together for, even though like people want to hate on the Yankees, but there was no better place for that to be than Yankee Stadium.
And they're all wearing like the FDNY, NYPD, like all the first responders to the towers. That was
so electric.
It was awesome.
And that's only in baseball. Like there's no better place for a national anthem. There's no better place for a beer, no better place for a hot dog than that baseball game.
Yeah.
And at any level, it's just, God, it's the best. It is the absolute best. And that's the thing, talking about like the radio announcers going out of style, like the baseball writers, like everything that just baseball has so many layers at so many levels that I just hope in the digital age as we progress in the world, like that stuff just stays as it is. It's almost like an untouched time capsule of like original sports reporting, sports broadcasting. It's just really pure, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, there's so much like mythology to it too, the history. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a running segment on Woody Lou's Sports and You, but I think we got to get into college baseball. We got all the games on ESPN Plus. I watched Notre Dame play Clemson the other night on ESPN Plus. I love the college game.
College baseball is great. I got into it probably the most I had in a long time last year. Following Kentucky, they made that outstanding run to the College World Series. They have an awesome coach, Nick Mingione, but it is really easy to watch. I was watching college softball the other night in bed on ESPN Plus, trying to just understand the game a little bit better from when I have to coach it. But I didn't realize they start their season a lot earlier than they should. I think their season needs to be pushed to the right a little bit because when I was like watching this game,
it's the academic year is what makes it tough. Like again, let's not pretend that these aren't basically professional athletes.
But the amount of games they've already played, and it's almost April now, but in March, like they've already played 25 plus games, and I didn't realize the season had progressed as much as it did. Maybe that's just on me.
Big Florida swing. All these, especially the northern teams, like they'll crank out games in Florida.
Just get them in.
Yeah. So. We got Gavin in the chat, a little late here, but asking about the torpedo bats, if they are legal. They apparently are.
The Yankees are using them very well.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're going to allow the torpedo bat, then might as well allow some shots in the rear end every now and then, maybe at least on a monthly basis. We're going to start getting the offensive numbers back up. They're trying to move away from the dead baseball they started off with last year, trying to get a little more offense. Faster game, more offense is how you get more young viewers. So there's a couple ways you can entice that outside of the torpedo bat as well.
I thought this was actually a very funny idea, and I forgot about this. But this was brought up probably a few years back by a Barstool personality baseball guy, Jared Carabas, having your designated juicer, where you get one guy that's allowed to take as many steroids as possible. And I think I mean, it'd be talking about like just monster home runs without like putting the safety in danger of like, the majority of the league is just one guy from each team who's going to just, destroy their body. But I thought it was a very funny idea, the designated juicer. I'm
sorry. I'm just distracted by the most Atlanta double play that happened to us in the top of the eighth right there. Anyway, so Rafael Devers probably wouldn't care so much about third base if that became a legal thing. He'd probably hop on that really quickly to get out of his skid. But that's kind of our sports update, Dan. I want to jump to this because I'm really excited to hear about how your Nashville trip went.
Yeah, so I was talking about my drive to Nashville, listening to the Red Sox. So purpose of the trip was to do apartment hunting for my new place beginning in May when I PCS over there. You were right. We were talking about Atlanta traffic. That was terrible. Nashville traffic was terrible. Yeah. But Nashville's a cool city, man. And the apartment I settled on is apparently like a newer developing area that
all Nashville's a new developing area.
But have you heard of like North Nashville? Apparently that's now a thing.
It's getting close to Clarksville. They're just like expanding like the suburbs too.
Yeah, so it's the place is on the Cumberland River. It's a little north. You can walk to Germantown. It's a little industrial, but
I was about to say it's probably close to Germantown.
Yeah. It's right on the bike path that takes you right to Broadway on the Cumberland River. Nice. A little industrial. It's like a lot of like office parks, but it's pretty quick to the highway. Affordable, new building. I had a great time in Nashville. I went downtown. I stayed in Midtown, right across from Vanderbilt.
Yep.
And then Friday night, I went downtown. Went to this really fun roof deck bar. It's gonna be a dangerous city, man.
Did you make it to Winners and Losers in Midtown?
I did. Yes, I went to. Yep, that was fun. I enjoyed.
That's probably my favorite place to go. If I'm just gonna go for a beer, like Winners, or they're right next. I don't know which one's which really, but one of those two is the one that I would belly up to if I had.
Went to some good live music at Losers, and actually this is kind of embarrassing, but I'll tell the story anyways of how I ended up there. So I went to this barbecue place near Vanderbilt. I forget the name of it, but was just at the bar, had like a barbecue platter. And I saw a guy came up to get some drinks and got carded. And I wasn't trying to look, but I saw he had Massachusetts ID. And I was like, oh, like, that's pretty cool. Like, hey, man, like, you from Massachusetts? And he's like, yeah, I live in South Boston. I was telling him, like, all the areas that, like, I lived. Like, really good guy. He's a minor league lacrosse player, but then does like a lot of coaching. So he was in town in Nashville, like doing some like camps and stuff. He invited me out with him and his friends. So it was very nice of him. I felt kind of weird because I was definitely crashing a night out with some close friends. But yeah, we're going to Losers. And I was like, that sounds great. So they left. I settled up. I went down there, talked to them for a little bit, got around to drinks. Was talking to his buddy. His buddy lives in Nashville. So I got two dudes' numbers and no women. So that was kind of questioned myself at the end of the night. Like, what am I doing? But got some golfing buddies when I moved.
There you go. Yeah, it's I would have loved if that story went like he was an actual 20-year-old who had just had a Massachusetts fake ID, and you start like just quizzing him, and he was like, he thinks you're like a undercover cop or something, just like, oh, what do you know about Boston?
Yeah, but yeah, some very attractive people in Nashville. But I'm just getting guys' numbers apparently.
Yeah, you told me you went to Black Horse, which for anyone listening who's in the military, been to Fort Campbell, Black Horse is the best restaurant in the Clarksville area. It's a beer tap room. They have their own beer. And so what I'm saying is, if I'm ever telling someone, hey, you're in the town, you're going to Black Horse, what you get every time is beer cheese and pizza. You text me and say, I just had the best bleeping pork chop of my life, which is the most insane, obnoxious order that no one's. I don't even know why it's on the menu. I bet you're the first person that's ordered that in absolute months.
No, I was not the first person that's ordered that. And Amy Lewis says, yummy. I totally agree. I went to the bar, sitting next to a guy that I could tell knows his food and enjoys his food. Zion Williamson frame.
Endorsed.
And I got a beer, got the IPA. It was delicious. And he was like, so what are you going to get? And I was like, well, I'm looking at the pizza. He's like, no, you're going to get the pork chop. I was like, okay, I guess I'm getting the pork chop. So the bartender, she was something.
Falling in love.
She comes up, she's like, what do you want? And I go like this. And he's just like, he'll have the pork chop.
He ordered for you.
He ordered for me.
So on the tally right now, we've got 2 guys' numbers and another guy.
He was with his wife. He was with his wife.
I'm just surprised he didn't say he'll take the salad. That's at least the start, you know. He got you pork chop.
No, it was pork chop, but the plum sauce. Oh my god, the plum sauce was so good, and the macaroni and cheese, and Chris Lewis pork chop, all caps, foul.
Foul. Not fair.
It was so good. And then I was getting stares from, you're going to be mad at me for this one too. I know you say beer cheese. I got beer cheese. I got pretzel.
So Chris Lewis is going to fully endorse that. He's a pretzel and beer cheese guy. Me and my mom are both purists with the chips, but
so
my dad likes the pretzel. That's not completely foul.
I thought it was going to be like one big pretzel, but it was 3 big.
Well, the issue is when you get the pretzel, you get the small beer cheese. You only get the big beer cheese if you get the chips. So
but you get the mustard too, and I love the spicy mustard. So I got the 3 pretzels and the pork chop, and I hadn't eaten all day. I was a little hungover from Friday, so didn't have much of an appetite in the morning. And the guy next to me is like, "You're gonna eat all that?" I was like, "Yeah." And I put it away. He was another Zion Williamesque guy, and he was like, "Damn, brother." I told you I was hungry.
And you text me and asked what beer I wanted, which I appreciate. You get me the McGee's, which I think the So you didn't get the McGee's. That's fine. You did get me a hoodie that one time, which I still haven't gotten. But
I still it's on my couch still right now. I'm looking at it right now.
It's probably held hostage until you get a Texas shirt, which is fair. That is fair, but McGee's is the best beer in my opinion. It's a pale ale there, but their full IPA and their vanilla cream is also. That place is awesome. There's really no wrong way to go. But that kind of wraps that up. So another thing that I know this is from high demand. We've had some people comment that they're tired of it being on the ticker, not getting discussed. Is the military ball. I think this is more of like you're going to lay it on me. I might give you some advice here, and we have some other people in the comments.
Yeah. I think the chat would be beneficial here. So it's done. I bought my ticket. I'm going 1 May to the.
Is it a division ball or what kind of ball is it?
It's brigade.
Is it Vardy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know I got to wear my bow tie and my dress uniform, but that's all I got. I've never been to one.
What time is it?
I think it starts at like 7:30.
Yeah, so regardless, so no headgear. Don't show up with your beret on.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. We're definitely going to do that.
Bow tie is good. Do you – what? You know, I don't know this because I still have I don't have the new uniform.
I have the ASU.
Okay, it's the same. So, yeah, bow tie, you're good there. Unit awards is a thing for a lot of places.
I got that. My French Forget. Yep.
So your unit awards is big. You get that. You get your awards. That's really about it. Now, when you get there, this is what is a dining out. So you're gonna have like couples there, right? It's not a dining out.
Yeah. So that's the other thing I was gonna get to. Fair or foul on solo dolo to one of these.
It's fair, but I would say it's a good place to take someone on a date for you because I'm trying to get you married.
I got a month, so if anyone in the chat, if you got an eligible bachelorette,
yeah, I mean,
I got a ticket.
So the thing about the balls, I think you get more drunk and more just belligerent at dining ins when it's just a unit. Those become obnoxious and just not safe for anybody.
That's your Chris Lewis. No DUIs. Yes, that is huge. I definitely will not be getting one as the prosecutor for the brigade, and will be.
Is it down in Savannah?
No, it's on Stewart.
Where at?
Club Stewart.
Okay. Oh, in worst case scenario, I live 3 blocks.
So that's my next thing was if you're gonna come pick me up after.
I could do that.
I appreciate that.
And I got a couch with your name on it, so that's too easy.
I'm not sure how a date would feel about that. I might have to.
No,
I have to get a room.
You need a date. I bet that IHG right across the street is probably already booked up for that weekend. I would imagine.
You're probably right.
No, you'll have fun. Don't wear your beret. Wear your uniform. You'll see some people, they rock like crazy undershirts. So like when the flags get taken down, and it's time to party, if you will.
Okay.
You'll see people start taking.
The official portion is over.
So once the formal portion is over, people will take their tops off, and they'll have like crazy sleeves and crazy socks, and just it's. In my opinion, it's people that spend a lot more money on something they don't need. You'll see some wild things. Just know that is normal. So you see some guy walking around, a bunch of field artillery guys too, probably. So they're gonna have all kinds of just obnoxious red.
It's gonna be a lot of flair.
Yeah, just it's normal. Don't start like scratching your head saying I'm gonna have to prosecute people getting rid of.
Usually the violations of 670-1. I'm not prosecuting those.
Yeah, so those are all fair, nothing to worry about. I do think it's a missed opportunity, not to do it in Savannah. So you could say the JW Marriott, you could really impress a nice young lady.
Yeah. No, it would be cool to have it downtown. But I'm excited to go. No, I've had a great time with this unit. So excited. A lot of people leaving, including myself. So. I think it's gonna be a fun night. May should still be, hopefully not crazy humid on 1 May. But
no, and I don't know I don't have the comments up, but I think Kaylee does have a single bachelorette.
Yeah, she was mentioned one looks like Twitter handle.
Oh, we got an @
Yeah, we got an @
So you can follow up with that after the show. Yeah. And you're also going to be roommates in Nashville, so you'll be really next to each other. So that'll be good. The Braves are just – I'm sorry. I'm a little distracted right now. I'm just watching the Braves just completely just –
And one part of the ball that I wanted to bring up, I've heard this term. I'm kind of familiar with it, but I am nervous. The grog. Now, tell me about this.
So the grog is it's a big – they can put it in whatever. Say you got a big bowl. And people are going to come up and they're going to make toast to insert whatever.
Okay.
And I think it typically, my dad's probably having a heart attack right now that I don't know this off verbatim, but typically it's like, to the unit, to the fallen soldiers of the unit, all the things that matter. Right.
Yeah.
And then it can start getting a little silly with like, I propose a toast to all the commanders, all the generals, all the unit, the fallen soldiers. And then it gets silly with maybe some silly stuff. Every time there's a toast, there's a new thing being added. So, like, I toast, I designate like a bottle of Woodford Reserve for whoever, and they pour that in. The next guy has Modelo's. The next guy has ketchup. The next guy has mayonnaise.
Wait. It's not like just like I thought it was gonna be like one big Long Island, but this sounds disgusting.
No, like you might have a mechanic go up there and dedicate JP8. You really just don't know what you're going to get. And then people drink from the grog, and it's disgusting. It's never good. It's not good at all. Don't recommend.
I like the concept, but that doesn't sound very fun at all.
No, like it'll start out normal. Like, I got, Diet Pepsi, and then I got bourbon, and I got, some white wine. It's like, okay, I can probably get down. And then it'll end up getting obnoxious. The Braves are getting killed. But yeah,
and, Kaylee in the chat is asking for a photo for the gram. Yes. Well, we'll figure that one out as far as being in uniform. It'll be on my personal.
Matchmaking.
It'll be on my personal.
She's trying to dude. I would love to go to your wedding here soon. So,
Well, I feel like
yeah,
you're gonna be like a prom parent at this ball, dropping me off and picking me up.
yeah, I probably am. And Kaylee's our dedicated DD, regardless. So I might show up blasted that thing to pick you up. And we'll have you'll sit in the center back seat, and we'll have both the girls to your left and right, with Uncle Dan in the back. Uncle Dan, Ronnie, and Elliot just chilling back there.
Man, it's gonna be a fun night. I'm excited. That's also my last. It's my last day. In my current duty.
That'll be a good send off. There was one time when my dad was a drill sergeant, and his commander got a little too drunk at the dining. I think it was a dining in, and we had to pick up him and his commander. And we drove the commander to his house, and he begged my dad to go inside to soften the blow with his wife. And I don't think that was a successful mission.
That's awesome. That's the first sergeant to get his commander's back like that. That's fantastic. No Deweys. Going inside. That's above and beyond.
And the last dining in I went to, I ended up making Kaylee mad because all of a sudden a guy needed a ride. We offered a ride. We had the dog in the back seat. It was a whole thing. We had to take him to 2 different places, and then I ended up using the restroom at someone's house. It became a whole thing that she was not anticipating, and we drove all around Clarksville, and she wasn't super, super happy with me, and I was not in a state of mind to comprehend why she'd be so upset with the way I was acting. But
I'm excited. That's gonna be a good story. I'm looking forward to it. But we are coming up close to the hour, Braxton, so I do want to get to I think it's going to be the highlight of today's show and something to look forward to for the weekend.
I hope you will stay tuned for this part.
And for content.
All right, so this is what I'm proposing. My wife and children will be leaving me on Tuesday.
Temporarily, not permanent. This is a temporary thing, just so we're clear.
Just so we're clear. I assume she's coming back. She's going to a concert. But
Eras?
No, it's Megan Maroney.
That'll be fun.
So I can't get off work. I did not know that Friday was a Donza.
Yeah.
But with it being a Donza and something I was trying to tell Kaylee, like whenever you have a day off work that's forced, it makes the rest of your week even more busy. So it's not like, I can also like it just messes everything up. But I'm proposing that I've been working on my golf game a lot, and I have a big match coming up in the end of April. We're playing at Lake Buena Vista Golf Club down in Orlando.
Nikki.
With my dad and father-in-law and brother-in-law, Gavin. So I've been trying to ramp up. Me and Kaylee went and golfed yesterday. We played 9 holes. She had her first par. It was awesome. Really just putting that hashtag time in. Since we both have off work on Friday, I'm proposing that we have a 2-day match. And the reason I want it to be 2 days is I wanted to see golf's a marathon. It's an endurance sport. I have been known to be a very passionate guy who has a quick temper. I've been known to withdraw myself on the 10th hole of a video game golf tournament.
You've taken yourself out of many a match.
So I'm proposing for content and just for mental fortitude and training that we do a 2-day match covering Friday and Saturday.
Love it.
I want them both to be in Charleston, South Carolina. My parents have already opened up their home for us to stay. I know that you have friends in Charleston, so you're not required to stay, but you have a bed to sleep in. I think that what I'm proposing is Thursday night, once we both get off work, we rendezvous at my house. We drive to Charleston. I'll drive. And we gear up for a tee time on Friday, which will be our first 18. Unsure if my dad will be able to join us on that one. And then on Saturday, he will be free. He'll come with us, and he'll be like the scorekeeper and play with us as hopefully going into a final competitive day if no one's out of contention. And we have a solid 36 holes of golf.
You texted me this on my drive back today from Nashville, and I could not be more excited. I've not played nearly enough golf while being here in Georgia the past year, coming back from Poland, which I'm disappointed in myself. And a weekend with the Lewises. Thank you so much for willing to host me. I'll definitely take you up on that, and the ride up there as well. It's going to be a good time. I haven't seen you in person well before the field exercise, so it's been a few months.
Yeah.
So no, it's gonna be great. I'm pumped, and I'm a competitor too. So what's the format and what are the stakes?
So okay, I've been really battling over this.
What are you playing to these days? I think we'll start with that. What are you playing at right now?
Handicap wise?
Yeah.
So okay, let's talk about it. I've been playing some really nice courses. Been playing at St. Simon's and down in Panama City. I was in the 90s for both those rounds.
Yep.
Taylor's Creek, the last 2 times I played Taylor's Creek, I've only played 9 holes, the front 9 on Taylor's Creek. It's obviously, it's a less competitive course than the other ones.
It is, but it's not a well-maintained course, so there's some weird, it's weird scoring. It can be weird scoring.
Yesterday I shot a 43, only losing 1 ball off the tee box. So that's it's a par 36, shot a 43, so that's 7 over on the front 9. And then when me and Kaylee played there before that, I think I shot a 48. So
shout out to Kaylee. She got her first par, and this will be a topic for a later show. Who is the better athlete, Kaylee or Braxton? It begs the question.
It does, because she got a par on a hole that I've never gotten a par on. I've only ever bogeyed. Shout out Kaylee. But yeah, so I was mulling over the stroke or match play format.
Did you ever give your number? Did we just go past? Are you going to give me a number? I'm at minus 22 right now.
I would say I'm playing at a confident, probably 20 to 20. Give me 20 to 25 consistently.
So are we going to just go Dutch?
I think we're going straight up stroke play. And the reason I say stroke play, because I think the content will be much better, especially if we're able to go live Friday night and get.
We're going to be grinding some shots if this is straight up stroke play. We do not have the.
That we're going into our final day of competition at plus 22 and plus 24. I think that would. I mean, it's a roller coaster, right? And
we're going to be those fucking assholes on the kids show. Sorry, put in the swear jar. We're going to be those guys that are grinding putts on Saturday, and we have no business.
We're aim pointing four footers after we just lost 2 balls in the trees.
And your dad, no pickups on putts. No, you cannot. This is a competition. I'm not giving you anything.
I just hope we don't have to play through anybody, because you'll see my dad really hit a nerve.
Someone has to play through us?
No, I watched the last time I played with my dad, which is probably the course we'll play at. I looked at the municipal course, which is where I played in college. They're already booked up Friday and Saturday. So I think we could potentially get on somewhere else, but the safe place where I know we can get a tee time, which I'll book tomorrow since you've locked in now, is the golf course on the Air Force Base in Charleston.
Oh, sweet.
I watched my dad, no joke, play phenomenal golf for 9 holes. He smoked me, just completely smoked me, played awesome golf for 9 holes. We get to 10, and the guys kind of lingered for us because they don't have a really good turn. It's kind of you'd have to go out of your way to go to the clubhouse, so we just went on to 10.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough setup.
And this foursome told us to play through. And Dad tried to give him no, y'all are good, and they weren't having it. And he hadn't lost the ball all day. I watched him drive about 3 into the woods. I think he ended up hanging up a 12 on that hole, and it just completely killed his vibe. And it broke my heart because he was playing so good. But hopefully we don't run into a lot of stragglers. The Braves lost 5-0, put up 1 hit, if anyone was curious.
They got 1 hit?
Yeah, 1 hit through 9, no errors. But
who's on the bump?
We had Schwellum. I can't say his name. Just not memorable.
I think it's going to be stroke play, 36 holes. This is going to be a good time. I think I'm just talking out loud now, my strategy, and just like your dad, I got to get to a hot start because you can be a mental case out there. And if I come out and shoot, if I can get mid to low 40s on the front 9, I got to take you out mentally.
So that hole starts out it's a par 5, First hole is a par 5, dog leg left a little bit, and to your immediate right is the driving range.
Okay.
If I see my first ball go to where I was just hitting on the range, it's gonna be bad. So I was gonna go ahead and get this on record, so there's no question we have it recorded. I'm calling for each day. You are allotted one breakfast ball on the hole 1.
Hole 1, got it.
Hole 1 breakfast ball, and then you're allotted one mulligan on the back 9 both days.
Okay.
So you have your only mulligan on the front is going to be your breakfast ball on hole 1, and then you get one mulligan on the back 9.
No excuses. I never make any excuses when it comes to competition, but you've obviously played this course, and I have never.
Dad, I can have my father get in the comments. I was there at the course.
So you never played?
I had never wanted to get off a golf course more in my life than that day. It ate me alive and spat me out. So just trust me, there's no advantage.
Oh, I'm probably gonna do like Google Earth, like just scout
it's one of
this
those
out.
I remember
a yardage
the first
book
hole.
going. If I roll up on the first tee with a yardage book that I made from doing.
I remember the first hole solely because of the pain it gave me. I couldn't tell you what any of the other holes are. We can look at Patriots Point, and maybe it's a situation where we play one course on Friday, one course on Saturday, and that'd be a real testament. We can look at that.
When they go to Pebble Beach, they play Pebble, Spyglass, Monterey, different courses.
Yeah, I mean, now don't get mad. My wedding reception was on 18 at Patriots Point, so don't.
I'm just laughing. Your dad he is firing off in the chat right now. He
What's
just
he
said he hated it. All caps.
I was in a rough
Said
place.
He would rather play a course in Iraq. Baghdad Municipal. That's Braxton's home course.
Baghdad Municipal. No, it was rough, man. And I hopefully Gavin's still in the chat, but me and Gavin are trying to lock in because we're trying to set the stage for when we go to Disney and play. And Lake Buena Vista is an awesome course, Arnold Palmer course. We're trying to get a situation where it's fathers against sons.
That's gonna be great.
A little 2v2, and so we've both been really trying to dial it in and put the pressure on the old men, if you will.
You might have to tap into your wife. I think she's a better golfer.
She's played 2 rounds. She's played 18 holes now total of competitive golf and has lost 0 balls.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna have to go to Costco. I'm almost out on my my bucket of balls, and we got Amy Lewis Westcott ?
That's a word. I'm sure that's probably a golf course.
Okay.
Maybe.
We gotta figure out the golf. I got a pretty busy week coming up here, so this is definitely something to look forward to.
And then we can put Amy in the chat. Maybe when we get in Thursday night, if Mom's up for it, we can go to Moe's Tavern for a little Thursday night action if we get in on time.
I'm excited. I have no idea what that is, but I'm excited.
Yeah, so we'll see if she agrees in the chat. But because Dad won't be there for Thursday night, we can go to Moe's Tavern. But all right, Dan.
Busy throwing out another first pitch. Is that where he's at?
He's got to work. He has to pay for all these.
Pay for all this. I'm pumped. All right, and we'll do a poll or something on the socials of who everyone thinks is going to win, Woody or Lou. So that'll be a fun one.
We might have Dad go live from the final round to maybe have some live content on the Instagram at Woody Lou Sports. So stay tuned for that. But I'm telling you, I'm really fired up to continue doing this. Essentially, every time we do this show, I'm living my dream. The bank account's not reflecting it, but the passion is fully reflecting it, and I'm excited, and I can't wait to spend the evening with you Thursday night on the way up to Charleston, and then Friday and Saturday. It's gonna be a great time.
I'm pumped to see you, and also I just want to say too before we sign off here, so happy to have all this action in the chat. A lot of people contributing, giving us questions, making us laugh. We hope we make you laugh. So thank you all for being there, and this is why we do the show. Woody Lou Sports and you. Any final words, Braxton?
That's all I got. I appreciate it.